Real deal Creality, allegedly. Okay. And got our booklet. This is coming with our CR Touch. And then it comes with several brackets depending on which printer you're running. Them. Okay, we've got our cords, screws, more screws, and some zip ties. Nothing useful. Just so you can see, this is what we got. We got this on Amazon, 39 bucks. Same day shipping. I'm gonna move it off to the side so I can make a more educated assessment on what I need to change in the firmware. Holy smokes. I'm actually gonna go to the Creality website. Let's go support. Download center. Series. Down here. There she is. Okay, we got the user's manual. No. Okay, so this is what I looked at earlier. We got, this is updated on November 29, 2022. This has the firmware set up to run on the 4.2.2 main board on the Ender 3 Pro. This has the CR Touch stuff built into it, but I'm running a high temperature hot end on this thing. Nothing fancy, but that ain't gonna work. Okay, so we're gonna do it ourselves. Back to it. Okay, let's do this first. We're gonna adjust our max temp. 300 degrees is what we're rated for on our hot end we installed. After that, we're gonna go up over here, configuration. All right, and let's go check on our settings. Okay, so first, this is our correct board. Scroll down, let's change this to who edited it. This guy. All right, we got our board is correct here, 4.2.2. We're not using points for this format. Here, scroll down, baud rate. Keep that in mind for when we're going to ever use like Pronterface. We can edit our machine name here. I'm going to change it to list my business name. Search for probe. Configuration. We're looking for configuration. .h. All right, so we're going to tell it we're using a BL Touch. Okay, BL Touch. We took off our hashes. So we got that selected. What else? We're not going to set it up. I've got the homing switch still set up. So we're going to go nozzle to probe. Nozzle probe offset here. Boom, we're going to scroll down. We know our values are going to be minus 44, minus 9. And we're going to set Z offset to 0 because we're going to do that later. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to auto bed leveling, deselect. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to do restore. After G28. I'm going to give us a little bit of space on the outside. I'm going to set this to 10 millimeters. Grid max points, I'm going to go to the maximum 15. I'm going to select this guy to put that UBL mesh wizard into our LCD display. LCD bed leveling, I'm going to put that in there. LCD bed tramming. That's going into our LCD display. Put C-Safe homing on. I'm going to go to section geometry. Put at section geometry. Bed size 235 by 235. That's right. Okay, I'm not going to mess with any of that. So we're going to be using. If we look in the book here, it says for our Ender 3 Pro model that we are going to be using this thick boy. We're going to mount the CR Touch to the plate, and then we're going to slap this onto our carriage right next to our hot end assembly. And make sure that I have my thermistor set correctly. You can choose your thermistor value once you do your upgraded hot end. I know that I'm going to need this guy right here, the number 5, the Symantec. So I'm going to go down and change that value here to 5. Alrighty. All right, let's run this bad boy and see if she floats. We go in here to the auto build Marlin plugin. We're running this program through this file through the PIO home. Both of these are going to be add-ons that you add into the Visual Studio Code program. I'm super brand new to this. I'm not gonna say that it's easy, but I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm learning all this stuff from scratch, so I'm sure there's probably a better way to do some of the stuff that I'm doing, or people have different configurations. So I'm open to any kind of input anybody has, any constructive criticism, as long as it's constructive. All right, we're gonna run this and we're gonna see. Hold up, I need to double check this guy. Okay, so we got the right board set up on there. You can double check your board. You go to type in Creality, and we're gonna look for pins.h. Pins right here. All right, there's our board. Go over here. This is what you're selecting. Make sure that it's for your 4.2.2 board. Your board may vary, so you're going to have to look at the motherboard and make sure you're getting the right version on there. Copy. And then we go back into platform.io. And paste her in. It's the same thing, so that didn't change. And we're going to run the build and make sure she works. Whoopsies. All right, kill that. Forgot to do the probe offset wizard. We need that for running our offset for our probe. We're gonna rerun this. Success. Go to PIO. Go to build. Go to our build. This is our new .bin file. We're gonna rename this one. Name about these nuts. And we're gonna transfer this guy. Our. Delete old file. Import disk F, double check she's there. Boom. Eject. All right, so we're gonna start working on the hardware. We got our CR Touch from Creality. Comes with 2 M3x8 screws and 2 M3x6 screws, and then we've got our bracket, zip ties, cord. Pretty straightforward. It says to connect this guy to our bracket here. The M3x6 screws are what we're going to use. So that's going to be our smaller guys. Okay, now we're going to hook our cable up. So that's all up in there, nice and deep like. Now, I'll lift this carefully up. This does generate some electricity from the motors when you move it, so you don't want to go too quickly. All right, so we're gonna loosen up these guys here, or remove those guys there. size between the stock screws and the ones that they give us for the kit.
Oopsies.
It's always handy to have some magnets laying around. Okay, so this is our hot end, all metal hot end upgrade we put up on here. It's nothing fancy. I haven't really run it super hot yet to see how it goes, but it seems like it's working out functionality wise so far pretty good. I'm gonna probably have to wait until it warms up around here. We can start running some trying to run some ABS on this thing during the summertime. It'll be just fine without an enclosure. Got my enclosure hooked up on my Tevo Tornado that we upgraded. Yeah, so we're mounting this bracket over top of our existing fan housing. I'm gonna pop the screw in there.
Same as I did with the bracket, putting the CR touch onto it. I'm not going to cinch this down all the way until I get the other one on there. Make sure I get everything squared up and looking pretty. Just get it just down there. Alright. Shoots down. Give you enough space to accommodate it. There we go. So, that looks good.
All right, we're on there, she's secure. Now we're gonna do the underbelly of this. We're gonna flip her over to do that. Start out, take out the top screw here. I like to keep stacks of these neodymium magnets laying around. Helps me keep track of my screws so I don't lose them. I tend to lose everything. Now, let's flip this guy over. Take out the 3 screws that are on the underbelly here. I might just go in there and hot glue this mofo in like they had it. And that's confusing. They show us our red wire is on our outermost wire. The blue one is on both of these diagrams. But here, red is our hot wire. I'm just gonna go ahead and orient it that way. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna super glue that in since I fucked up the clip. Hot glue, not super glue. It's beautiful craftsmanship. Get our cable tucked up there nice. Doesn't really matter what order you put these back in. I've personally found it helpful to be able to pivot on this back screw. You're trying to line up your front guys. Screw it in 95% of the way. I don't want to tighten anything down until we get them all in, and we'll circle back. disconnect our Z limit switch. These guys, you don't really have to do them all the way. Just do them about a couple turns. Alright, let's get this cord all bundled up on here nice.
Piece of ties.
Good rule of thumb with these cords, so we don't want to do them too tight because we don't want to restrict the loading tube. Just snug it up a little bit. Move on down the road.
This guy. All three.
I may wind up putting a couple extras on here later on. I really just want to get this printer back up and running. All right, we got our .bin file in there and our SD card. Plug it in before we fire up the printer. Turn it on. See, the screen should have a little bit of a lag as it's loading. 10 seconds or so. You should flash the firmware. Boom, fires up. Got Marlin 2.1.2. Settings are stored. Info screen. All right, we're gonna go into configuration. Advanced settings. And go for our probe offsets. And we're gonna go to the Z Probe Wizard. Now what I really should have done, which I'm actually going to do, I need to preheat this bed up to a normal operating temperature so that I can make sure that it's getting a good mesh in there. So I already know that this is set up. The bed's level. Got it all leveled off yesterday. I'm going to go back. Preheat this real quick. I did level this last night and it's pretty solid. We're all up to temp here. I'm going to adjust my Z offset now. Advanced settings, probe offsets. The offset wizard. We're going to do an auto home real quick. The Proby probe does his thing. Put our paper in. I'm going to go in steps, 1 millimeter at a time. Much. 0.1. Much. I think I'm happy with that. Maybe we can dial it back just a little bit. We can always adjust that a little bit later if need be, but I think that's pretty solid. All right, so we're done. We're gonna go in here, back to configuration, make sure we store that setting. It's gonna store our offset to the EEPROM. Our offset's looking like 2.35. Results may vary. You always wanna fine tune this to your machine. I'm gonna go in here to motion, unified bed leveling. We're gonna run our normal operating temp, and we're gonna set our mesh. This is supposed to store to the EEPROM. It's gonna store in memory slot 0. Run the UBL mesh wizard. No, it's going. Let's try and not be impatient. So this is going to store our mesh. We can plug in a G29 command into our starting G code in our slicer. So this guy's going to run through 125 points. It's going to get a full mesh of this bed. All right, so I printed this calibration cube out, 0.1 millimeter height, and pretty good speed setting. Whew. So we can see there's a little bit of curl on the corners. Not bad. All right, so let's see. Let's get brass tacks results. So we'll get our Z. .89, 19.9. Go for our X. A little bit off. 19.78. And we'll go for our Y. 19.8. And all in, that's not bad at all. I'm happy with that. I'm sure we can make some improvements overall, but it's not too shabby. One thing I'm having issues with is getting these walls to connect to my infill a little bit better. Somebody can give me a little bit of a pointer on how we can dial that in better. I mean, I guess we're kind of splitting hairs here, but I really would be more satisfied if it was more solid. We did a 30% infill, but I mean, you look, there's no ghosting really, no ringing. Layers look good. Maybe a little bit of artifact in there, but I mean, overall with the speed that we printed at, I got to pull up my settings and see exactly where we're at, but that's a pretty damn good calibration cube right there, man. All right, it's late. I'm going to bed. Till next time.